Hi everybody. So I want to introduce the chakra series. I'm doing this with Craig Holliday, and we're going to go through each one of the 7 chakras in a more in-depth way than your classic color, food, and emotion association. We just dive in deeper to get a more expansive view of what the chakras really mean. I'll be releasing each video a few weeks apart. I also recommend making sure that you watch them in order so that they all tie in together. Since they're not necessarily meant to stand alone, they're meant to be one gigantic kind of weaving through of a chat. I hope you enjoy. Moving into the solar plexus, I'd love to hear about that because that's probably one of the biggest ones for me. That area, like just above the navel, I feel like there's like a pumping. Sometimes when I get really relaxed, I can feel it, but it's been a constant through my whole awakening. So I'd love to know what that represents. And
So solar plexus, it's the intelligence of it is the intelligence of self-esteem, good, healthy self-esteem. And so if we look at self-esteem in a human way, like, do I respect myself? Do I love myself? Do I take good care of myself? Do I know that what I am is true? Do I speak the truth? So it's these issues of truth, respect, self-esteem. And so, for many people, when they have this center blocked, again, they're prostituting themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They're not connected with their power. They lack self-confidence. They say like really mean things about themselves. I can say, like, when I was young, I used to say, "I'm sorry," every time I spoke. Like, I would apologize for literally, breathing the air. It's like apologizing for your existence. And so some people can have the opposite too. So instead of apologizing all the time, they're just like puffing up, and so, which is another form of lacking self-esteem. They have to puff up and they have to act like, it comes from this false place of confidence.
It's like two sides of the same coin. It's the same issue, but it like manifests in...
Exactly. And so these people are always talking over you and, thinking I have to be right all the time. So issues of being right, there's intense beliefs in your thoughts, your opinions, your religion, your politics. But it's like you're one of those news people, like on Fox News or these news stations where it's like people just arguing opinions with each other. They're just like arguing and arguing and arguing. If you really feel into their consciousness, they're incredibly insecure. Like, they have to be right because if they believe they're right, then they think that somehow they are of value. Instead of realizing we are all of value, we are all divine, everyone is worthy of respect. And so, sometimes we'll have, incredible sensitivity to criticism here. We'll have issues around personal honor where we're not, again, not telling the truth. We don't respect ourselves. But, the divine manifestation of this is we speak the truth and we live the truth. It's just like really clear. We speak the truth.
We live the truth.
We live the truth. And so some great questions, with this is, am I fighting with myself? Am I fighting with life? Like, am I eternally fighting? And so, when we have issues around self-esteem and like proving ourselves and not respecting ourselves, or being like infatuated with others while degrading ourselves, like I've had, as a spiritual teacher, sometimes people will come to me and they'll project like this, like this incredible godlike nature on me, and I'm like, hey, I'm just a human being, like don't project, me as a guru or me as a god. I'm a human being. I make mistakes every day. I fall on my face, but I respect myself. If I make a mistake, I apologize. I get up. I learn from it. I grow. I go forward. And so it's the willingness to like have faith in yourself. that I'm good. And if someone criticizes me, that's okay. Do I believe in myself and my gifts? My gifts. So part of respecting yourself is knowing yourself and literally knowing your gifts. So God has given each of us a gift here on planet Earth, and it's our job, like it's literally our spiritual sadhana, to express that gift in the world. If we're not doing that, we're not respecting ourselves, we're not respecting God, we're not living the truth. And so, if we have issues of being, like unworthy or feeling like I can't do this, like all these kind of issues, we tend to have just this congestion, in the solar plexus, the point right below the heart and then, down into the belly, and there can oftentimes, like if you're not expressing your gift and living your truth, you'll have all kinds of like nausea in the belly, anger, or, weird, sicknesses in the belly that are associated with the gut. But of course, when you work through that, and begin to walk in a courageous way toward the truth and living your truth and literally bringing your truth into the world, you'll feel this sense of power, like from the heart down. You feel power in your solar plexus, power in your hara, and you'll feel rooted, in your root chakra. And see, this is all a wonderful foundation for your heart to express its beauty in the world. But if we don't have a clear foundation here, like if we're eternally fighting with people, whether that's online or getting into like political arguments of like, I need you to agree with me so I can relax and know I'm safe. Well, you're gonna have a hell of a time on planet Earth if you're connected to the truth and know what the truth is. You don't need people to agree with you. They can throw tomatoes, and you're good, you're safe, you're worthy, you're respectable, you're honorable. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. I'm just getting a lot of ahas, basically, in terms of that area, because I know for me, if I were to connect it with one thing, it would be that sense of not having. I know that there's more power that I can have, know my gift, but there's shame attached to certain aspects of it, or I give my power away in certain situations, and I know that my reservoir of inner power is not to its full extent. I know that there's issues. Sometimes I have it, and I know it's there, but I know that's what it's connected to. Do you feel like shame is part of this area?
Yeah, there can be guilt, there can be shame, mixed into these centers. But a good question for you, and I'll even make it just real personal with you, is, do you know you are a goddess? Literally.
I logically know that, but my body doesn't know that.
And so by that literally, it's so stepping into that. And so in order for you to be a goddess, you have to embrace your power, walk forward with it in the world, and be okay with disappointment. And see, the thing about shame is shame keeps us stuck. And it's one of these, oftentimes it's called like a secondary emotion. It's an emotion that sits on top of a deeper emotion, like say fear. And sometimes when we come into this world, like if I feel into you personally, you have a very lovely consciousness, a very soft consciousness, and that's a beautiful thing. But when we come into the world, we have a very soft and light-hearted consciousness, and we see other people who have very harsh consciousnesses. Oftentimes we say, "Oh, I don't want to be ever like them." And so what we do is we never connect with our power because we're afraid we'll be like, the abusive one, the harsh one, the overwhelming one. And so a lot of people who come in who have, really soft and gentle and lovely consciousnesses like you do, they don't connect with their power because they don't want to be like the overwhelming person in the room. But see, if you're going to fully step into this goddess nature that you are, you have to be willing to connect with that power. You have to be willing to let people say, oh, she's too much. But there'll be one person that will say she's too much. And there'll be 100 who say, I love her. Her presence is incredible. Her presence has helped me so much.
And does it feel natural when you step into that?
It'll feel terrifying in the beginning. Like when you first begin to touch your power, it's like when Kundalini first wakes up in you, it's like, holy shit, this is like all the power of the universe in me as me. So it's allowing that energy to flow through you and trusting it. Trusting that what you are is soft, gentle, tender, but also huge, powerful. When you first step into it, oftentimes it's terrifying because it's so much energy, so much light, so much power. Like when I first found this, it was like, holy shit, I feel like a volcano that's exploding, and it felt like raw energy, and I had to go through this doorway where I was having like Kali type visions. You can see behind me there's this big Tonka on the wall, but you can't see the fullness of it, but it's like Kali coming into the world, ripping heads off, she has like a hair of fire, like lighting the world on fire with your presence. But can you trust yourself and know that when you open into this form of power that you are, you're not going to be going postal and shooting people and running people down with your car. You're actually going to be sharing love. But the thing is you have to be big enough and step into the rawness of that energy, like it's like pure raw energy, and step through this doorway where you're willing to face everything. And for many of us, we have to face this anger that life abused us. For me, it was anger that God abandoned me. There was like this existential anger at God, like, you fucking abandoned me here on planet Earth. But it's through stepping into that anger and that fire that I began to realize that this fire is God. And, oh, I am God. I am one with this overwhelming power, this overwhelming force. And it doesn't feel soft and gentle. It literally feels like a volcano of rage. And as you open into it, that rage, it begins to burn up, and you feel this incredible purity and strength, and also like an energy of like, no one fucks with me. No one fucks with me.
And how did you personally open up to that? Because a lot of people equate power with abuse.
Most spiritual people, myself included, equated power with abuse. And so I came to this world, I was soft, I was sensitive, I was gentle. And then there was, these powerful forces in the room. And I thought, I don't like that. And I was scared. And so I would swallow. And I spent, the first like 14 years of my life making myself small and hidden. And so this is the willingness to come forward, to be seen, to have people throw tomatoes at you, to be betrayed, to be publicly humiliated. So that's how it happens on the outward sphere. You have to walk through these doors. And so it's through feeling that pain. If we look at meditation, you sit in meditation, you open those doors to everything you've been angry at or feel abused by. And you sit in that heat of anger. You open to that rage, you let it flow through you. Like from a place of compassion, you let it flow through you. You honor the fact that whatever it was did happen. It was painful. But then you let it go. And the letting go is like, you're not letting it go to like get rid of it. You're letting it go because it's this ultimate act of love and strength. It's saying like, yeah, I see, I'm fucking furious. But I'm breathing love into the fury. Not as a way to micromanage the fury, but you step into that fury, and the love combines with the fury. And it creates this new quality of strength, of fearlessness. of embodiment, of power, of power. And so it takes someone who has to be courageous enough, again, to walk into the fire of every painful emotion, feeling we've ever experienced, and not just sit there and like analyze the story, because that's a defense. You admit clearly, this happened and it was fucking painful, and now I'm going to descend beneath the story and feel the pain. And so like with shame, like shame is one of these, it's like a padded emotion. Shame tries to keep you from feeling what's under it. It tries to get you stuck. Guilt does the same thing. Like I struggled with guilt for about 10 years. And it was just like this heavy emotion. It was kind of depressed, and I would just kind of spin in it, go back and forth, and I wouldn't make any progress. But at some point I had to look, what's under that guilt? Oh, tremendous fear of listening to my truth, and then incredible sadness. Because I'm going to have to let go. I'm going to have to break someone's heart. My heart is going to be broken. My world's going to be turned upside down. But it's through walking through all of that hell, discovering the truth and divinity in it, that a new life, a greater life comes forward. This is the opposite of like soft, spiritual, bunny rabbit energy.
It's like warrior. Like I always thought sensitive warrior is what I wanted, encompassing.
Yeah.
Like I want the two sides integrated.
Yes. And the beautiful thing is this is what you already are. Like all of us already are this. It's just a willingness to step into it. You know, like when I feel so much goddess energy. It just pours through you. And so it's just stepping into it more and acknowledging it. I can even say, people have come to me and they've said, Craig, who's that individual you did that interview with? She has such lovely energy. Like they feel your light, you know, through our time together. And we, you know, oftentimes because we're so lost in our humanity or our emotions, we don't realize that this divinity is pouring out of us. And so it's through taking the time to recognize this divinity that I am is here. It's always been here. Can I step into it, embody it, live it, bring it forward in my life? And so this is very much solar plexus energy, is this sense of, okay, I'm going to bring the truth forward. But of course, we have to realize the truth first. A lot of people prematurely make a mistake of having a philosophy, a really tight-knit spiritual philosophy in their head, think they know that truth, and then they try to, you know, project that truth onto everyone around them, saying, let me tell you how to live. Let me tell you why you need to meditate, or whatever it is, you know, kind of bullshit, you know, they're trying to give us. It's not coming from a place of truth. It may be a really good intention, like, yeah, learn to meditate, that's good. But, you know, when it comes with egoic pushiness or proselytizing energy, you know, it just feels dirty. It feels dirty when it comes out in that way. But when it comes out from a place of truth, people receive it. They don't argue with it. You know, I've had so many people come to me and they're like really stuck in their head in some certain tradition, and then, you know, we start to talk, you know, and at first they're trying to argue philosophy with me, like non-dual philosophy, and I'm just like really clear. I'm not that bright, you know. I don't have the philosophy all worked out in my head in some like tight-knit way. But, you know, let's talk about it, you know, from a place of depth and truth. And then all of a sudden they're crying and they're realizing, oh, this is the truth. The truth comes in the direct experience. It doesn't come in words and logic in my head. And so it's a beautiful thing, you know, when you encounter yourself, when you run into truth, it's like your heart opens and you just say yes. You don't argue with it.
Like to find truth, right? A lot of people would say, well, how do I find what's true? Would you say that just by having that intention, you're giving the opportunity for that to arise? And that oftentimes we don't go seeking truth?
How do we find truth? You look inside and you find your divinity. You see that you're the most beautiful person on the planet. You see that your mind is not this thing that's just thinking all the time, that your mind is actually vast, spacious awareness.
Mm.
You look in your belly and you find this power. You look in your heart, you feel just this incredible radiance. You see this radiance. So you find God within you, as you. When you know that, you know, it's like what Jesus said, and you see the kingdom of heaven all about the earth. You see it everywhere. When you see that you're the most beautiful person on the planet, you look out and you see that everyone is the most beautiful person on the planet.
Mm.
You see the truth. There's no philosophy to it. It's a direct experience. It takes your breath away.
I feel like everything is just like integrating into my being. So I'm so grateful for you to do this with me, by the way. But do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, of course. No, it's been my absolute pleasure to be here. I mean, the big thing is, you know, as you're exploring these different chakra centers,
Mm-hmm.
the big thing for us to do is to be still and know we are God. Know you are God.
Mm.
And if you're still and you find all kinds of confusion coming forward, can you meet it with love?
Mm.
Can you meet it with love? Can you meet it with clarity? Can you not be lost in the story, but see that there's something here that's human, that's hurting? Can you meet it with love, open to it, release it, and then continue to be still and see what's there? What's there when we're still and we're open and we directly experience ourselves? You know, what people don't realize is each one of these chakra centers is literally a heaven world, a heaven realm.
Mm.
In us, as us. And so there's this tremendous opportunity for all of us to open in a huge way. A huge way. And so that's my invitation. You know, for all of us to deepen. And it's not like you open that realm once and you get it. No, you open and open more and open more. And that realm, it grows. It deepens. You find an infinity of love, of growth, of heaven, just in your heart. In each of these centers, the growth is infinite in every direction. And so there's no end to this path. It keeps getting better and greater, you know, so that eventually we are literally fully divine beings.
Thank you for watching, guys. I will leave Craig's information down below as well as my own. Make sure to catch all 7 videos once they're all released, and I hope you have a beautiful day.